Welcome back to the Mountain Man Medical YouTube channel. I'm here with Dan from TacMed Solutions. He's going to go over some of their cool products. They got a couple of new things that I think would be a lot of fun to talk about. Dan, what do you got, brother?
So we've had our latest iteration of our tourniquet come out here in the last year and a half or so, the soft tourniquet, Special Operations Forces tourniquet. We've made some really awesome modifications to it that were tailored in mind of helping improve that one-handed self-application mode. The one I'm going to show you is the color blue. Blue is that universal color for training. The cool thing about our tourniquets is you can actually train with your duty issued or the one that you're carrying in your IFAC. You can pull it out, use it, take it to occlusion, fold it back up, and it's still within duty parameters. You don't have to have a blue tourniquet to train. As a trainer myself, that blue helps deter thievery though. People are less apt to walk off with a blue tourniquet, but our blue tourniquets are fully functional as well. But I'm just going to use this to show you the highlights and the features. Our tourniquet has always had an aircraft aluminum windlass. We lengthened and skinnied it up, and if you've ever followed the history of our tourniquets, the notch on the end of the windlass with our tri-ring is actually how we achieve the anchor. The thing that we've done to really assist with the one-handed application is the addition of the track, tourniquet retention assistance clip, and I'll show you here in a second how that's used and why that's important for that one-handed application. You'll notice we've got some stitching under the windlass, these little triangles. We call those slack indicator wedges. Any windlass-based tourniquet that's out there, if you have slack underneath the windlass, that's bad, because all of this effort is just taking out the slack, and it puts the windlass off course, and it takes longer to actually start achieving occlusion. So it's just meant to be that visual indicator to get all that slack out. So the very nanosecond you start to turn that windlass, you're actually generating compression. The other thing that we've updated is the quick release buckle. We've always had a quick release buckle, which I think is awesome for a number of reasons. One, if I can't get to the end of the patient's limb, and the scenario that I always use is a vehicle crash where now the dashboard is in the patient's lap, and I can't get to the end of the limb and trace it up into position, I can disassemble it, feed it around, clip it back in and go. In the self-application mode, I'm retired police lieutenant and paramedic. When I was a younger officer, I was very flexible. As I got older, zero flexibility, a little bit fluffier, a gun belt and body armor, and I'm sitting there on the floor. I am not going to be able to reach around and trace it up my leg, but I can sit there on my butt, disconnect it, feed it around the back of my thigh, shimmy it up into place, and still be able to take care of myself. The other feature that comes into hand is we're the only tourniquet out there that you can actually connect two of our tourniquets together, and especially with bariatric patients and larger patients that are out there, this will allow you to get around any size thigh that you need to deal with.
Well, one of the things I usually will talk about is like if you have a fracture in the leg and you need to control bleeding, you don't want to be manipulating that leg, so use the dead space to go underneath and disconnect the tourniquet.
Outstanding feature. So the other thing that we did is, going to be honest, a previous generation of this buckle was all metal, and especially if somebody was pulling off at an angle, it would cause the buckle to rotate 90 degrees, and that was actually causing some binding, and it just was not the best thing that we could have done for that buckle. So what we did with this generation is this side of the buckle is still metal, this is a plastic polymer, but you'll notice it's blocked out and it will only rotate X amount of degrees. So even if this person is pulling at this angle, all right, it's allowing for a nice, smooth pull, and it doesn't lock up on them. But I'm going to show you the track here and how that's used to enhance that one-handed self-application. So you get the tourniquet high and tight, take out all the slack, twist, 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 however many times it takes to turn the windlass. Without the track back in the day, with our tourniquet, you used to have to hold it and try to pull off this one-fingered ninja move, and that's where that feedback came about. Our tourniquet was always harder. Now you can take this end of this windlass, drop it down into the track, and it will temporarily hold. As long as you're not moving the patient or the patient's not combative, that's going to hold. You can take a break, rest, dry your hand, do whatever you need to do. Now when you come back, you've got your whole hand free to come back and get the end anchored in. So it's really an improvement on the one-handed self-application mode. So some good updated features to the tourniquet. Check it out, it's awesome. They come in all colors. The primary two that we have out in the field are black and what we call rescue orange. But we have some other features. We have Coyote, we have the Blue if you want to actually, just from a training standpoint, have it.
This was the Coyote?
Yes. But then we are also the official tourniquet for the American Red Cross, so we actually have the tourniquet available in red. So all of the kits that they sell through their bleeding control program come with our red soft tourniquets. Moving over into a little bit of a training environment, we actually have a new task trainer that came out within the last year. It's an arm task trainer, and it's meant to be a training tool that they can actually apply tourniquets on and go full force without inflicting pain on each other and things like that, so they can see exactly what that's like. Very low fidelity. You can hang an IV bag and squeeze it. You can fill a syringe and manually push blood through so that blood's coming out. But it's just a safe way where your students aren't complaining about, "Ow, my arm hurts." I still encourage people to get to that point where they're doing self-applications, but you can actually take some of the reps off of them and let them go all out on the task trainer. So
if you have a Stop the Bleed instructor and they want to get one of these, how would they go about that?
all of our products are available on our website. We also have some very reputable distributors out there that sell Tactical Medical Solutions products, but everything that we're talking about here today is at the Tactical Solutions website, www.tacmedsolutions.com.
I'd heard that you had a rental program too, is that true?
We do. That falls under our simulation side of things. We have the very high fidelity line of mannequins, both humans and canine. They are a very high price point. They are amazing. It's the closest thing that you can get to working on a real person without it being a real person. But they breathe, they bleed, pulses, respirations, blood pressures, O2 sats, they're animatronic. It's really cool. That price point can be prohibitive for a lot of trainers, but we do allow, daily rentals and things like that. So besides the huge line of the human and canine simulators, you can actually rent one of these as well for a T&E basically type thing. But they're retailing for about $450. The last thing I wanted to show you.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with our bandage, we've always had the Elias bandage out. Really, really cool. One of the features of that thing is on the inside, it comes with dry comp gauze and a sheet of visqueen. When the bandage is in its normal form, I love it. It's very effective in the whole, white puffy side goes down to the injury, round and round on top of itself. It's a really good bandage, like everybody else's bandage. It does that really well. I like it because it gives you the opportunity to MacGyver a little bit if you actually get into the situation where your gear's running thin and you need to make other things happen. If I run out of prefab chest seals, I can use the sheet of plastic to do an old school Boy Scout, Girl Scout type occlusive dressing. I can take comp gauze and still wound pack, but I can actually pull all of this out. This is still a very effective bandage without this being inside, but I can take this, a knife or a set of shears, cut the bottom of your trousers, and I can field create an expedient bandage out of this. So that being said, we've always had people say that would be cool if you could put this as an actual hemostatic agent. So that's what we actually did here. A couple years ago, we came out with the hemcon. It's the Elias bandage. The difference with the dry comp gauze, this one is the yellow. We made the hemcon white with red tear indicator strips to help people identify it under stress. But it has hemcon inside in a Z-fold format as the hemostatic agent. So if you got that inguinal wound that you need to pack, you're only having to open one package. There's your hemostatic agent, pack, hold the pressure, and when it's time to bandage it up, you just go ahead and use the Elias bandage that's already in your hand.
Yeah. So the hemostatic agent is what helps the blood to clot more quickly, and you're packing yours with Kaido gauze, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you have wound packing material in your pressure dressing already, which I love because it reduces the number of packages you're carrying, the number of packages you need to open, and if you're going to be packing a wound, you're probably going to need a pressure dressing to back that up.
And what we found is if you're buying a bandage and a hemostatic agent separately, by buying the one bandage, on average it's saving about $8. So, onesies and twosies, not a big impact, but if you're talking about an agency that's trying to buy 500 or 800, that actually makes a difference. So we can actually get you into a more budget-friendly hemostatic option.
So the primary difference between these two products, as I understand it, is this one does not have the hemcon, does not have the Kaido gauze, but it does come with the gauze.
The dry comp gauze.
And the little piece of occlusive dressing. This one does not come with the inclusive dressing.
Correct.
But it does come with the Kaido gauze.
Correct.
In my opinion, this is the best battlefield dressing on the market. I love it. I think it's a
Awesome,
great
man.
product.
Thank you for that feedback.
Is that all you got, Daniel?
I think that's going to be
love it.
all we wanted to try and highlight with you here today, and we appreciate the opportunity. And thank you to your viewers for being faithful and always watching and wanting to stay abreast of what's out there. And we had a great SHOT Show. Hope you guys did too.
We did.
We're running on empty right now, so we're ready to wrap it up and take it to the house. But it's been a good week.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey,
I
man.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.